Yo, yo. What is up? Alright, so that was a new song I actually just came across. It's called All Night by Eugene Becker and Read It, but like not Reddit, the forum. It's spelled Rediit. But yeah, it's a little deep house banger. I'm gonna throw on a set from Marsh. It's a DJ set. I'll drop it in the chat if anybody's interested. But yeah, we are back with another Wednesday stream. I know it's been a bit. Last week I was actually sick, so I had to cancel, unfortunately. Still drinking tonight. No tea tonight. We got a big glass of OJ for health benefits, all that. All right, so hopefully the volume's not too loud. It's like a nice volume, but you can let me know in the chat. What's up, Follis? Let's dive on into the charts. Alrighty, yo Twixie, what's up? Tea over OJ for health. I mean, yeah, totally valid. I don't know. Sometimes I like to switch it up though. I get bored of having tea at night, so I went for more fruity. So yeah, we plotted this squiggle a couple weeks ago, back in like beginning of mid-April. Oh no, I know, like, yeah, sugar and then tea. Like I get the health reasons. I just was in the mood for OJ. One sec. I can't do loud vocals when I'm talking, especially with these headphones, because like they're kind of they're not meant for noise canceling headphones, but it's definitely hard to hear yourself over the audio sometimes. But yeah, this is pretty much, I always joke around a lot in Chroma about following the squiggle, but so far so good. I could see maybe us cleaning up these highs here first and then kind of reversing down. If we flip or get a candle close confirmation, I would say on 4 hour or daily above 3K, or not 3K, 30K, that's where I would be looking to pivot my bias and target the monthly fair value gap. For the time being though, we do have since it is a new month, it is May, we have a monthly fair value gap right here between, what is it, like 27K and 25,400, so a little bit short of this. So that'll definitely, I think, get tapped into sooner than later, as long as BTC kind of goes according to the squiggle. If we get some debauchery towards the end of the week and we get some push up, I'll change my bias, but for now I'm still biased down. We did have this weekly fair value gap we barely tapped into, as you can see. I'm looking for ultimately the EQ, which is right below the TP1 of this bearish cipher harmonic, which again, like, still this would be like your confirmation high. The only thing here that I'm a little bit cautious about is, like, you can see here we retested this high perfectly, but now we're starting to get back above it. Yo Stefan, what's up? So if we flip this daily fair value gap here, and then you ultimately get like structure breaks up here to the upside, that's what I would be looking for higher. But we'll see what the rest of the week brings. Let me quick check news. So tomorrow I think it's just, yeah, it's unemployment claims at 8:30, and then Friday you have unemployment rate, non-farm employment change, and average hourly earnings month over month, all at 8:30. So Friday will be like the big day for moves. Oh, yo, A-Trader, what's up? I didn't realize that was you. How you doing, man? So yeah, I think until we get candle close confirmation above 30K, still bias short. I think this is kind of just gonna come up, sweep, and then come back down. I've seen a couple people post charts like, oh, big market maker sell model, like original consolidation, reaccumulation, smart money reversal, and then, but I don't quite see that just yet. I mean, it could potentially happen, especially if you break down here. Like if you fall below 20K again, I think there's a very good chance you could see new lows, or at least clean up some of these lows here, or fill in this imbalance. But until otherwise, this BPR, in my opinion, is a great place to look for like a balance. I might even, once we start, if we start getting close and confirmation below here, I think this would be a good place to set some like bids for a swing. You could probably play like quick, I don't know where invalidation would be, probably like a little below 21,000, just so like in case it taps into here. But I think this BPR would be like my big area of what I'd want to see hold. So yeah, that's kind of my bias on BTC. We'll head on over to ETH now, because I do want to stick mainly with crypto tonight, just because I've been dabbling in it a bunch more. If you've seen the Ponzi trades on Twitter, yo, El Hito, what's good? But yeah, ETH is oh yeah, we have our little Bat Johnsy up in the corner. But yeah, ETH is holding steady, above the 200 EMA on both of these. Actually, BTC is a bit higher. The one thing I would like if we do come back here is kind of like a retest, fall below it, get everyone bearish, and then pop back up. ETH though is just kind of steady cruising. Don't quit. No, yeah, it'll happen eventually. But you know, I just took it out. But yeah, it's just kind of steady, slow uptrend. I don't really plot diagonal channels too much, but I think it might not be too out of pocket here. Yeah, that's ultimately like, if you were to be one of those diagonal trend traders, that's like pretty much spot on how I would do it. You have your EQ, got respected here, came back up, tested range highs, came back down, tested the low, held the middle, tested the high, deviation. So I mean, I don't know how it works in terms, because I know with like horizontal ranges, like the regular ones that most people use, they'll often, like, if you deviate one side, you go and deviate the other. I don't know if that gets respected on this, so maybe if BTC comes back down to 25K, we get a push back below maybe this low even, or even just come down, retest it for the time being. But yeah, unless we fall below the 200 EMA on the daily, like, I'm pretty bullish. We are trying to reclaim it here on the 4 hour. I see a potential, that's, I mean, kinda, I guess, yeah, this would be your highest point. So your bearish bat. So in the case that ETH does like come back up in the short term, that's probably a move I'd be looking for. Maybe then like a reversal down here, retest, and then go. So I mean, if BTC is gonna take the more bearish or more bullish trajectory, maybe get something like this, and then come back down, pop back out, and then you really go for the next major leg up. But otherwise, if we stay in this channel, I'd probably, and like BTC starts breaking down, I'd probably be looking for these lows, retest a range, probably chop here for a bit, and then eventually down lower. So that's kind of like my thoughts on ETH. Two potential scenarios. I do like the way this is shaping up. Ultimately, you want to close on the 4 hour probably above 1970, and then that looks good for a move up to the 2100 area. Nothing like a nice glass of sweet sugar. But yeah, looks good. I mean, this again, like, could take quite some time. It could take all the way until November if it really wanted. I don't have like a timeline on this, but this is still my bias until you take out this low. All right, ETH to BTC. Another squiggle that I love. Let me just quick fix this fixed range. Let me turn off the EMA, clean things up a little bit. Go back to the weekly. I think the weekly provides, it's just such a big range unless I go on like 3-day or something, but yeah. Actually, I'll go to 3-day. Been following this squiggle decently. We did retest the range POC, rejected. We're back now at value area lows. We're trying to, well, looking like we're bouncing off this daily fair or 3-day fair value gap. Yo, Joe, what's good? And then looking for a move probably down here next to sell side liquidity. So I think ETH, again, if BTC starts rolling over, ETH is going to be weaker. I do think once we get down to, though, that 786 retrace, maybe even one more push below, you do have relatively equal lows right here, if you can see, which I could totally see getting swept before a more serious move back into the range. But for me, like once you hit that PCZ, my eyes are locked on ETH. I'll be looking for swing longs. I might even look to trade ETH to BTC if it's possible on. I don't think you can on through FTMO. I know you can trade like ETH and stuff, but maybe I'll take like a small like swing long on ETH and just forget about it for a couple weeks on my funded account. But yeah, that's my kind of bias on this. Have a good one, mate. Thanks for popping by. You can always rewatch the stream later to catch up on whatever you missed. Yeah, no, Elhito, 100%. We're definitely looking for much higher prices. Yo, thanks for the sub, Aaron. But yeah, ETH to BTC is relatively like weaker in the coming weeks, in my opinion. So BTC should definitely hold strength. Thank you, Joe, as well, for the subscription. Subscribing. One of the three. So yeah, that's like the core stuff for crypto. I want to quick take a look at some charts on BitGet, just because that's where I've been trading. I know there's not much data. Dang, look at render go. This was the long I took at the very end of the day today. Oh, and I want to see something too. If I had held, and I'm kind of kicking I mean, granted, like I probably wouldn't have. There was a long I took this morning or like midday. It was right here. Let's see. It was this shark harmonic. And I was like, okay, this is pretty spot on. And I think I don't remember what the exact price was, but I got in somewhere, I think it was like right around like 2078. I'd stop below here. And I got a 4R, which was good. Yeah, it was like right... It was probably a little bit higher of a entry. Oh, man. Ah! All I had to do was hold, man. All you had to do was hold. At least the buy-side liquidity, that would have been an easy one. 20R banger, baby. Oof. Instead, I got 3R because I got 4 on this and then I got stopped. But yeah, harmonics in the right context, man, they'll crush it. So I had the right draw of liquidity. We'll actually go over to the Binance chart for this because I think it has a lot more data. USDT.P. Oh wait, no, I have it set to just BitGet because I was adding charts. Actually, no, we can just do the USDT one. Yeah, no, Twixie, it was tough. It happens though. I mean, can't get mad about it. Was it Coinbase was the one we marked up over the weekend. That's the one we were looking at. Cause that was before I switched it. Yeah, this looks about right. Yeah, so we were talking about potential scenarios here. Obviously, we did get quite a bit of a pullback from the highs over the weekend. So on Sunday when we were looking at it, I think we were probably like around here, but we pulled back now about 20%. We're up about 12 on the day, which is huge. I am expecting quite a bit of continuation here. So I will probably be looking for longs today. Not today, but tomorrow's session. Unless we get like power hour here and you give me a BPR, Then I'll look for maybe on a pullback into it long. Let's see, 4 hour. You know, this looks quite strong here. I do like, this is almost like you tapped into these volume imbalances and then you rated the low, and wow, look at it go. Maybe if you come back down here, you could size up like a long or something, like, because now the thing is too, I love using EMAs for extra confluence, because like 200 EMA, like it's a pretty strong indicator of like strength in terms of like trend. Like here you can see like retested, it kind of bounced and then it came back down, then it rejected. That's where I got stopped on that second long. But now we're above it. So really there's, in my opinion, no reason that we should come back down below. I do like that weekly fulfill. So yeah, there's some good targets that you could like look for on this. I'm not gonna like take anything right now. I'd rather wait till tomorrow. I hate taking trades going into Asia session and leaving it overnight, because 9 times out of 10 I get stopped on it before it runs. So yo, Cozy, what's good? But yeah, we can run through. I used to have a list, or I do have a list of coins on Binance that I was watching pretty regularly. All right, so I never took this. This was something I talked about in stream potentially, but we never even got like the confirmation or the setup for it. We did take out the equal lows here. You do still have these equal highs. However, you're pretty like down here. There may be, just maybe, so that would be your bat harmonic, and then this would be like your confirmation low. So honestly, the R to R here is not half bad for a swing trader. Like, in my opinion, I would probably like, you could probably do something like that, TBH. Asia session always starts one way versus when I go to sleep. Yeah, literally. I don't know. But yeah, this is something I'll keep an eye on. I'm actually gonna throw it in my list of things to watch on BitGet's chart for tomorrow. So yeah, this looks really good as a potential like high time frame harmonic. The hourly, I'm expecting this maybe to pop up and then reject, come back down. So like, I feel like if you get below the 1 hour again, like reject from it, scoop it up maybe on a retest of the M15 or the M5, though I wouldn't want to lose either of those trends. After that, it's kind of back to bearish town. And especially if, the thing I also have to keep in mind is like if BTC is actually going to go back down to 25K, all these alts are going to get washed out. Like there's no shot. So I need to like keep that in check, because when I started my spot account the other week, I had an issue with longing, like wanting to long, and it just was not the time to be longing. So definitely something to keep in mind. APT, another one that's just been slowly kind of coming down. The thing I don't like about it is on the daily is we have these equal lows below now. You're also below this high here, which in my opinion is a key high. You can maybe treat this almost as like a zone, I guess. Like this is kind of like a zone where if you fall below it, you're coming back down to lower prices. So it's all right, I guess, where it is now, but definitely don't want to see it below like 859. Gold hit all-time high an hour ago. We'll look at gold after I run through some crypto stuff, because I'm curious about gold. All right, so that was APT. Atom, another one. I don't know where my alerts went, but I'm gonna set them again. Sub $10, buying spot, and walking away. I've talked about this time and time again in my streams, but if you're new here, we've seen what a harmonic can do previous rallies. I see no reason why 2 can't do the same. So, I mean, I probably sound like an absolute nuthead, but definitely think this is one of the few spot bags I will happily pick up. And I do think if BTC rolls over, this will give a great opportunity because it is a relatively strong, like it's not really dumping much. So, yeah, Atom looks good. Just need to see a bit lower. So anywhere below $10 though for me is a buy in terms of DCing. BNB, another, we looked at this harmonic a while ago. It was a cipher. I'm just gonna skip this song. I'm not a fan of like the squeakiness of it, but yeah, no, this is really just keeps retesting this little resistance, these ice lines from back in history. We have daily candle close here on February 19th, 2021, the wick high, and that's obviously like your range now. I could see this potentially dumping as kind of like a 3 drives. Let's see, we are trying to get back above the 4-hour 200 EMA. Trying. I could see maybe pop back up and then come back down, but if you're below 333, I think ultimately like there's a lot of sell side liquidity objectives below. If BTC does actually nuke, that's where I would be expecting it to follow. But yeah, 334 or 333 to 350 is a big resistance level. Big if, you get back above 350 and get some nice closes, 400 easy. Look at it. You're above 350, straight to 400. Above 350, straight, like history, time and time again. Above, rocket up. So that's what I would be waiting for on BNB if you're looking for longs. Otherwise, wait for potentially a reversal down to lower prices. Unless you're scalping. But most of the analysis I do on my Wednesday streams is all like high time frame bias just to get a sense of the general trend. And then I stick to low time frame analysis more so in Chroma. Time frame do you place your trades in? 9 a.m. GMT. So I'm New York. So I trade mainly New York sessions. So that would be like, but I even sometimes, I'm usually up early, like 4:30 a.m. New York time. So towards the end of London session or London kill zone, like for Forex traders, I'll trade or usually New York kill zone. So 7 a.m. New York time till about 4:30 p.m. or till about 4 p.m. New York is like my trading session, but I'll trade outside of that as well. Sometimes I'll trade weekends just for crypto though. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, no, definitely good volatility though for stock open, especially if you trade indices. It's like the way to do it. Doge, another big one. How accurate is Elliott wave theory? To be honest, I've never used Elliott wave theory. I have no clue. I'm gonna be like, I can't speak on stuff I don't use. I just use harmonics, price action, and the 200 EMA. Those are like my 3 things. I used to use RSI and like MACD divergence, but I've just like gotten very comfortable with just the EMA, harmonics, and then just price action itself. But yeah, Doge is quite bearish in my opinion, below 200 EMA. I am still looking for much lower prices. This butterfly harmonic is still valid. Yeah, so the 200 EMA, Joe, you just have it. I just have the EMA, the basic one from TradingView. These are like my settings. You can always go back and freeze, pause the stream. But yeah, so I have it 200. So for example, if I have it on daily time frame, it takes the past 200 days and averages them out to where they would be. But yeah, I just leave everything else default. And then as you change the time frames, it'll adjust the EMA to match the time frame that you're working on. So now if I go to the 1 hour, it's the past 200 candles for the 1 hour. So obviously if you're above it on multiple time frames or below it on multiple time frames, it'll be more indicative of the trend. But something to keep in mind is when you're sandwiched in between the two, you'll usually see consolidation with a displacement move. So we can see here we're below the 10-minute, we're below the 15, but we got above the 5. So, and I'm sure even like the 1 minute, yeah, we were like below and then got above. So then it kind of sandwiched here and then expanded. So it's just some things to keep in mind. I don't usually use it like without other bias involved, but it is good in my opinion. ETC. Oh wow, yeah, I forgot about this one. This is like a high time frame trade I was looking for. I still think it could potentially be a good trade. I just don't think now is the time for it. But yeah, this is a nice bat harmonic. The only thing is that you're just failing to do anything here. And if we roll over, like, it's not good. You want to see a reaction. So I would not want to see below $18 for Ethereum Classic. INJ. Oops. So I'm trying to think, like, how would I, where would my real like, I suppose, like, if I'm gonna consider like where you would start, I would probably say there. So I mean, 786 is right here. Ooh. Yeah, I could definitely see it coming back down. Additionally, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to read right now, but I think this thing is definitely very overextended. However, the trend is your friend. This thing is still going. Maybe we get some sort of bearish harmonic here. So let's see. Okay, so we could get a bearish butterfly. 1, 2, 7, 2. Yeah, something like that. That for me would be like the max, like $11. Oh, that would work out actually kind of nice. Psychological level, like $11. So yeah, INJ could have another run, but we'll have to wait and see if BTC kind of rolls over. But this is potentially what you could look for, because butterflies have that 786 to retrace. No other harmonic has that. So that's like an easy way to distinguish them. But yeah. LDO. Oh wow, look at that pop. I know some homies want to short this. There is a daily fair value gap we're tapping into here. There's also another one here, and there's a lot of downside. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to like think about like how I would bias it. How do you know when to draw that harmonic? Personally, never used it. Appreciate it. It's probably a lot to go into right now. Yeah, I can't really talk too much about it right now because that's like a whole like course I would have to almost do. They're from a guy named Scott Carney. I have a guide that is out for Chroma members. If you're in Chroma, just message me in chat and I can link you it. It's in my channel, but it's a couple days ago I posted about it. That I'm releasing different harmonics each day, just as a educational thing with also examples. And then towards the end of the series, once I finish all the harmonics, I'll do videos on how to size them up and how to, if they're valid and so on and whatnot. So yeah. All right, so yeah, LDO. Yo, Victor, my man, what is up? But yeah, LDO, all the homies want to short it. Let's see if there's, could you even say a harmonic here? I suppose, I'm sure you could. Whoops, I clicked it one too many times. How do you treat and find market structure break? That's more a basic thing. I'm not gonna dive too much into that really because I really don't even see a harmonic here. It's not very distinguishable. Which low to take for market structure break? Oh, thanks, Victor. I appreciate that, man. But don't stay up too late. I know you got a busy day ahead. So, I mean, ultimately it's kind of subjective, but for me, like an example of like a market structure break, this would be a good one. Because you have a rate of the low, and then you took this high. Typically, you want the high to be the one that's like between. I guess if you were to say we rated all three lows here, because you want the high to be the one in between the low. So that would be like your break. Then there really wasn't any sort of fair value gap, at least on the M15, to like hop in on. That, like, I guess here, that could have been like your entry. So like if you're just doing like the standard like rate of lows or rate of highs, market structure break, fair value gap entry, like you could have looked for something like that. If you wanted to be extremely safe, could have had stop below here. And then low hanging fruit, you had imbalances here, but ultimately I probably would have gone for this buy side liquidity for roughly, what was that, like 2R. Yeah, that's a solid trade. So like that is what I would consider like a market structure break. But it also depends like on the time frame, because if I go to, let's say, the 1 hour, there's no break there. The market structure break for me would be here. But even that may not be like the best example, because you don't really have a distinguished low. I guess maybe almost like here, but I don't know. It's very subjective. It really depends on what time frame you're looking at and whatnot. But I'm gonna keep going with charts. Yeah, same, but Uno reverse. Just like flip it. And there's tons of stuff online if you look around. So Link, as always, yeah, you're very welcome, Kent, is back still inside this range, still below the daily exponential moving average, below the 4 hour. Not really much to talk about. Gonna keep the show going. Mana, we are looking at this potential, hold on one sec. I like the song. I'm not a fan of like vocals over when I'm talking, because then it like screws me up. But yeah, so I plotted this potential Gartley. I do like it. I do like where it is too. And we are starting to get closer to the PCZ. So this could be a really good swing trade potentially. And would be one that like you're in the right context for major reversal. Not saying it has to, but like you could easily size up a low risk trade and probably like target something like that. So just an idea. Seem to always lean towards shorts. I'm not that good at long. Any tips to flip this trend weakness, and have you experienced anything similar? I mean, it really depends. I ultimately try to look for confluence and have multiple time frames align with my bias. So if like I want a long, I want like the 4 hour, the 15 minute, the daily to all kind of align with that bias. And it's just about catching. You can either be like a reversal trader, so you're catching that like last reversal, or you can be a trend trader and you catch like the in-between moves on a retrace before it goes on to the next expansion. So it's really, honestly, like it's time. Like you gotta just spend time on the charts, practice, back test, take notes, study, journal. Like it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. I've been doing this for close to coming up on like 3.5 years. I mean, that's not, and I'm still like learning new stuff every day, but I look at charts daily, and I spend weekends like educating myself and learning. So I mean, yeah, you just gotta put the time in. Matic. Ooh, this one's finally getting interesting. So we did we take that low? Let me oh, I don't have the raid one on it. Let's see. 39399. Oh yeah, we did. We rated that low. Okay, cool. So we are getting very close to this PCZ of this shark, and I do really like this. So I will be monitoring this. I think I have an alert there, but I'll set another one just below. And then yeah, this has obviously buy side liquidity targets, equal highs, another one. But yeah, this is really good. It's just a matter of time, again, waiting for it to get to the right spot. This one I think would be a good time to position alongside Atom, so whenever that gets there. Near, we've talked about. This is a good example of a butterfly harmonic, but it really hasn't done much. It is trying to go. I'll take a look at FET. after I take finish going through a few more of these and then head on over to gold. Soul, we are still just range bound. This is a much better looking butterfly though. So if you can flip this though, you have your 3 upside targets in my opinion. But for now, I'd be waiting to see if maybe we come back lower before looking for a higher move. Because maybe that's your range. I don't know. We'll see. You can interpret it either way, but all right, let's look at gold really quick because I actually was curious about that. Hold on one sec. There we go. Okay. Wow. Holy cow. Gold is ripping. Oh my god, you're right. It finally did it. The cup and handle, baby. Let's go. Alright, so where would I be looking to next? I mean, because like once you're in price discovery, it's a whole different ball field. So 2158 would be like the next big high time frame area. Additionally, we could also look at, yeah. So yeah, 2158, 22. Yeah, so these would be like the different upside targets I'd be looking at. I don't know how high you're gonna go. Watch that just be the wick up and then that's it. I don't know, we'll see. I would definitely want some confirmation, especially like a weekly close above these highs, for me to want it really long, because right now it's just rating it, and that's really not what you want to see. But yeah, that's very interesting to know that they finally got new highs on gold. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Let's take a look at FET. Fetch. Oh, that's what it is. Sorry. All right, so we are. All right, so I'm gonna kind of mark this up from the get-go how I normally would. Oh wow, there's a lot of data. I guess I'll just mark up some of like the key ice lines. All right. So there's just like a few areas where I would be potentially looking at the price. And you can kind of see how here, like, retested, like, it just kind of, even this one here is almost pin perfect. Back to, what was that? That was the daily close from, like, the second day it launched on Binance back in 2019. So, Mask? Yeah, we can take a look at Mask after. I know Mask actually had some good pump today. But yeah, oh my god. Look at that. Look at that, baby. So yeah, range bound pretty much for the time being. And again, like, just to show, like, I marked all these lines up over here. And like, you can see how well respected they are in history. So if we lose 30 cents, I think, on Fetch, you're probably going down to 17. But if you are able to hold here, which it doesn't look half bad, especially off the bounce we had from the lows, I could see a potential move higher. Just needs to stay above this daily 200 EMA, but it does look decent, I will say. So you could have a very easy invalidation, but I could kind of see it kind of like coming up, and then maybe retesting it and kind of chopping here before then either going higher or lower. So that's kind of what I'd be waiting for. But you do have a very clear level of support resistance at around 30 cents. So that's Fetch. Mask. And I will just say, if you were to say this is, let's say, like a harmonic, or could potentially form a harmonic. Could be like yeah, this would be perfect. A cipher, or not cipher, a Gartley. And with this, you'd be looking for that 786 retrace. I love the fact that it retests off that ice line. So yeah, that is also potentially a scenario where you could get a push down, and that's where you'd want to take a long. Mask. Pretty bullish. Let's mark up our ice lines. Oops. All right. So right now you're kind of like in the middle of them. You are looking like a, it's not even really deep enough, but I guess like if you, I don't know. You did have, it is up 2.5% on the day, so it's like good. The only thing is you are below the 4-hour 200 EMA, which isn't really like the greatest for like midterm. You are above it on the daily, but that's more high time frame. So I could, again, kind of see it coming up maybe, and then eventually like chopping back down. I want to see a retest of this. It's been a while before you see some sort of bigger move. I don't really have a clear bias in terms of high time frame trend. You arguably do have like a bearish raid here. Your market structure break would be here. The only thing is there wasn't really too much displacement on that break, because all it really left was that little inefficiency here, which is untapped at the moment. So maybe you come up, fill some of that. I'd be interested to see how it reacts from that level, because if you blast through it or like close above it, then I'd be looking for it as a retest so they get longer, higher. But if you react off it, I'd be looking for it for potentially like a short. So yeah, that's mask. Not as clean of a read for me. Let's go over to stocks, or not stocks. I'm happy to look at stocks if people have requests, but I want to look at indices. So something I'd posted about earlier this week, I was pretty spot on with my analysis. I shared it in Chroma on Monday that I wanted to see ultimately this buy side liquidity to get taken, which it did. We then had the sell-off down to the BPR. The only thing is today we nuked through it. Yesterday we did bounce from it. I thought maybe we were going to bounce again, but it did not do that. So I'm a little uncertain. Like I don't necessarily think that this might pop here. I could see, so if we look at like lower targets, you have a unmitigated daily fair value gap here. You have a weekly volume imbalance here. So in terms of like downside targets, those are the two I would be monitoring, which are pretty far down. I'm not gonna lie, like you could get quite a bit of a retrace, especially if BTC sells off. I'm trying to like look at this, think about like what could potentially make sense, like maybe a harmonic or something. Like if this is the high and then we come down, maybe you get a low here, but that's way, it would have to go much deeper. Yeah, I don't know, I don't have a clean read on that, but I think the fact that this got broken is quite bearish. You have a big volume gap here. Not looking great. Not looking great at all. However, I could see a potential reversal, and high time frame, I'm still looking for these equal highs and this weekly volume imbalance before looking for a more sustained move down versus like a couple weeks of bearishness. Yeah. So those are kind of like my points of interest for the coming weeks. Starting from 1K. Ah, Joe, I'm happy you asked this. This is a lovely question. I actually have done challenges like this in the past. That's where I grew my Twitter from. Back in 2022, did I do it? I did it all. No, I think it was like 2021 going into 2022. I shared 500 plus trades live on Twitter. Shared every trade like as soon as I entered. I posted it on Twitter. And then I posted if it got stopped out or TP'd. But oh yeah, Wolfpack knows. Yeah. But yeah, I did about an 8x. I grew that $1,000 account into about 8,000, and then it came down to about 6,000 before I decided just to cash out. And with that account, I was doing strict 1% risk on all trades. So anytime I took a trade, so for example, I'm doing the same thing now. I'm risking about like $10 per trade for now. Yeah, so I have done it before. I am now obviously like trading a lot of different markets, so we'll see how it goes this time, but I am excited to be back trading crypto again. All right, we got about 15 more minutes, so I gotta go. So how many trades did you make? Was it a lot of scalps or more swings? Mainly scalps, but I do some swings here and there. More like holding for like a couple days, but most of the stuff I do is intraday, just because that's my time frequency. Oh my gosh, look at this weekly volume imbalance on Euro. Yeah, appreciate the love, Wolf. But yeah, no, this on Euro is quite interesting. You also have buy side liquidity right here. So those are like two potential upside targets. Monthly, we are inside, or the monthly fulfill would be right here. So yeah, Euro, very bullish, a lot of upside targets, some closer than others. This monthly fulfill is like nearly there. Buy side liquidity, and then this big volume imbalance on the weekly. So yeah, very bullish on Euro. Pound is very similar deal, monthly fair value gap right here. I would love to see Dixie kind of drop down a bit. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But yeah, very bullish on these two. Dixie, I wanted to see a move up into this. It's just been kind of shopping sideways, so it's been hard to have a read on this. But I am still ultimately looking for a deviation. I don't know if we're going to do something like this and then maybe come down. But I do want to see these levels get taken before we go to then deviate the range high. And then fill this monthly fair value gap, and then ultimately come back down and complete this big market maker sell model. Yeah, I know it's a little messy chart right now, but looking for something like that, and this would come back up. I don't know, something like that is what I'd be looking for. So yeah, I think once this takes out these levels, Euro and Pound will be pretty bearish. As long as this does, if it just drops though, then this might just nuke and really give everything else a chance to run, because it is a high time frame bearish bat on like a multi-year, like almost since I was like born scale. Wild. But yeah. We'll see what Dixie has to offer. So that's Dixie. We went through Euro, Pound. That's really the only Forex I trade. Sometimes I do USD to JPY, but I've been trying to just like limit how much different stuff I look at, because it's tough to look at everything. And yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I'll take any last minute requests or questions in chat. If not, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe with the news. Don't forget to touch some grass here and there, and take some time off the charts. Oh my god, render is like pumping. Or I guess it's just kind of flagging out here, but awesome, Joe. Glad you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.